Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Underdog Views, and I watched Superman from 1951, but this is not just called Superman, this is Superman and the Mole Man. What did they, no, not what, but who did they use for the Mole Man? Let's see if we have... It doesn't say Mole Man 1, Mole Man 2, or... Oh, yes it says. But I don't know if this person is tiny. Yeah, if it's a tiny human. No, I don't know if it's a midget or not, because they don't look like them, but they are smaller than Superman. Seeing him holding one and standing next to them. See, yeah, those are the those are the Mole Men, and we have Superman, but as you can see, they're not midgets. The hands and the proportions are normal, so they're just very small, apparently. Let's just start with this movie, shall we? We're flying through space while a narrator is talking. When he names Superman, Superman comes on screen, he appears on screen, and then he says Clark Kent, and then Superman transforms, it transitions to his normal Clark Kent, attire, and then back to Superman standing in front of and waving a US flag. We now see a small town. It's too big to call a village. Too many people for a village, but too small for a normal town. That's 1400 people, around that 1400 and a half, 1452 maybe, something like that. So it's too big to call a village, because a village is under 1000 people, but a town is 1000 to 20,000 people. So it's a small town. And then we see the welcome sign from welcome to Silsby. We now look up to an oil tower. The camera goes down, and we are now in front of a fence with a sign that says National Oil Co. CO. Now on the terrain we see maybe the sheriff or the worker. I don't know. We see a man with a clipboard. He's writing something down, and we see two men approaching him and ask something about the things that they carry. He answers, and they just let it go. No, not from Frozen. No, they just let those things go and threw them on the ground, basically. But if you want to know what's going to happen next, watch the movie yourself. It's a bit of a shorter movie. This movie is 58 minutes long. But it was not bad. In my opinion, it was not bad. It was maybe not as fun as the Christopher Reeve Superman. And talking about Christopher Reeve, this Superman is George Reeves. We have Christopher Reeve and this George Reeves. So it's basically the same last name, only George as an extra S. Christopher Reeve just loses the S. Which is kind of interesting. both actors that play Superman, after each other, have basically the same last name, only with one letter in difference, which, in my opinion, is it's kind of cool coincidence, and they said also something in this movie from, oh yeah, that point, there's no life in the earth or something like that, and it made me think, for where does, how deep do you have to go to for life in the ground to stop? And I don't mean roots, no, but I mean animals, insects, shit like that, until where do they go until you're just the life of them stops, I don't know, but it's maybe kind of interesting to think about, because we know that, in the oceans, we can go deep and deep and deep, and there's still life, even though even though we haven't seen that life or confirmed it, we know that there has to be some life down there, even if it's just tiny specks of shit, maybe not shit, but what are creatures, either water insects or whatever, so there is certain life, but how deep do you have to go into the ground before life stops living there? It's maybe kind of interesting to think about. Now I do know that mole men actually exist, and not mole men like this, but mole people that just live under the ground. Those do exist. Um, yeah, but not evil mole people, just regular as people that just live under the ground all the time. They have to exist. Come on. Overall, it was a decent movie, but I think I will give this high 3, low 4. Go watch the movie yourself. Recommend a good superhero movie down below in the comment section, or just good movie from the 50s down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my second channel on the Eats, where I do food drinks every week from time to time. Also, go on my third channel on Underdog Reacts, where I do primarily music. Link down below in the description. And I'll see you guys later for the movie The Doors, about the band The Doors. Bye. Oh, and before I forget, I just saw on Facebook a post that there's a chance that maybe Seth Rogen will play Ozzy Osbourne in a movie. Maybe confirmed by Jack or Jason Osbourne, something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I am curious, and it doesn't really look like an Ozzy, but maybe they can do prosthetics and shit. But we had the good Ozzy in the movie about what was the band? Motley Crue, about their movie. Oh, there was also an Ozzy in there, and that was a good actor. That was a really good actor. Almost looks alike. So yeah, maybe you can use that one again, or maybe he's too old for that shit. Who knows? Subscribe to the channel, yeah, and see you guys next time. Bye.